professional success for members on your staff, especially if it comes elsewhere, with wanting to keep them on your staff as integral parts of that?
I don't worry about it 1 second. That's all God's plan. I mean, I'm not God. I just trust God. I don't worry about it 1 second. Zero.
How healthy is Dexter at this point in the year, and do you envision him being kind of close to 100% as this game approaches?
Yeah, he played well for us last week. You know, he gets double teamed, triple teamed. He made one play. I mean, literally had 3 guys. He had to defeat 2, knock off 1, and he still made the tackle. I mean, that guy's a warrior, man. But he's as healthy as he's been. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there 100%. Coaches ain't 100%. Nobody's 100% this time of year, you know. So, but he'd be ready to play. I'll tell you that.
For a guy who obviously has as much natural ability as anybody that you've had through here, how has he kind of developed throughout this year? Kind of, you know, his role's been bigger, his impact has been
Dexter?
Yeah.
He's just a smart player. I mean, he's a very conscientious player. I think, you know, watching him grow as a teammate, he's become a leader because he's kind of a quiet, soft-spoken guy, as y'all know, but he's really asserted himself more. And, you know, he's just and then just his will, you know, because he had to battle through some injuries and surgery and all that stuff, and hasn't been, you know, 100%, you know, really all year. But he's still been incredibly productive and effective. I promise you, everybody we play, they notice him. You know, he's just a very disciplined player. Sometimes he's making plays that he doesn't show up in the stat column, but just because of his presence and what he brings with his effort, he's a problem, and so it creates other opportunities for people. So, because I mean, when you play close to the ball and you're disruptive, everything starts from the inside out. Everything, and we're, you know, when you're strong down the middle, you got a chance. It's like in baseball, and that's what he gives us, that anchor on that ball.
Jeff was saying yesterday that he thought that the Auburn game was so constructive in Kelly's development. What, if anything, do you see in Kelly now that you might not have seen in his decision-making or anything before those experiences?
Well, I just think just confidence is the biggest thing. I mean, you know, I can't remember who we played first. Kent State. There we go. You know, that he played great. He played flawless in that game, but you know, he wasn't going to get any credit for that game. You know, just a game that we got control of quick, and you know, really not a lot of pressure on him. But other than the fact that would he transition from the practice field to that game, to the stadium in that environment, and he did. But then it was okay. You know, I mean, Auburn's got an unbelievable defense, as we know. How's he going to handle that? Is he going to be able to make the plays that you have to make in competitive games like that? You know, and he made some big-time throws in that Auburn game, big time. And so I think because of that, his confidence just really started to emerge. I mean, he's a young player. I mean, he's a new player. He's a veteran guy, but a new player. And so, again, there's no greater teacher than confidence. I mean, than experience, and you know, and especially good experience to build your confidence. And that's what came from the Auburn game. Just, you know what? Hey, man, I can do this. And then we just kind of took it from there, you know. So I didn't know. I told y'all, I don't know. We're going into the game. I said, I mean, I've seen him in practice, but we're going to find out because he's earned the opportunity to go be the guy. But, you know, you can't just earn it in practice. You got to earn it on the game field too. And we're fixing to find out a lot about this kid. And, you know, I think his confidence, his maturity, his leadership, everything, his ability to impact those other guys around him like great quarterbacks do. I think all of those are things that came out of that game that he carried over, and I think it's built all year long. And then when all of a sudden, you know, it had a couple games where had a little didn't finish on some plays. He missed a few plays. That's just part of it too. How do you respond to that? He's responded great. So I'm just really proud of him.
Back to Higgins for a second. You guys put him in the slot for his couple big plays there against South Carolina. How much freedom does that give you to be creative as a staff with formations and mismatches because of his unique skill set here late in the year?
Yeah, just really felt like going into that game that we could create some matchup problems with him because of his confidence and something we had not shown. And they put a little guy on him, and it was, we knew we were going to get a lot of man coverage. That's just what they do, and it just comes down to your guy's better than their guy, or their guy's better than your guy. And as soon as we lined up, we knew we were going to have an opportunity. And Kelly made a great throw, and he did a great job with his release technique. We set the hitch down outside, and it gives you. He's 6'5". I mean, and he can run, and now he's starting to get some confidence. So he'll be a guy that'll be a factor for us for sure moving forward.
I know you said the trenches is kind of where games are won. Does the fact that you guys had, I think, 6 linemen named first team All ACC kind of speak to that? And I imagine you're pretty proud of that.
Yeah. I don't even know who all's made All ACC, but I'm very proud of that. I mean, they're well deserving. All those guys back, and how about Falcinelli? How about that kid? He probably didn't make it, but he was a guy that. Oh, there you go. There you go. He made it. Who's first team? Falcinelli? Holy cow! I didn't even read it. I'm a little backed up on my emails. All right. Well, I better read that for the team meeting today. Well, there you go. Falcinelli. I mean, you talk about a guy that has stepped up for this team. I think you were asking me a question coming into, we lost a great center in Jay Guillermo, and here's a kid that's ain't easy to do what he's done now, and has played very, very well for us. But all those guys, man, I love that offensive line. I mean, and the flexibility that we play guys. I don't even pay any attention. I really don't. Robbie just plays them. I mean, we got probably 8 guys that have played starter snaps for us in the offensive line. Tremaine started at right. He started at left. He's played all over. Pollard's played right. We've practiced him at guard. I don't think he's gotten in at guard yet in the line in a game, but we've played him at guard in practice. Simpson's played both guards. Just a lot of Hearns played left tackle. A lot of Mavericks played everywhere. Just a lot of flexibility in that group. So I'm really proud of those guys and very well deserving for their honors. I guess I better go read my email.
Could you talk? I'm sorry. You talked about how good the running game has been this season. Tony Elliott was named Broyles Award finalist yesterday. You spoke and told the story about the moving story about bringing him onto the staff. You have to love seeing him get that recognition. No question. And it's unfortunate. I wanted to nominate. I had 3 guys I wanted to nominate, but Tim said we could only nominate 1, and Brent won it last year, so he wasn't eligible. But really happy for Tony. Very, very much well deserved, and Tony's just he's like a little brother to me, and just really proud of him and the job that he's done for us. Just a tireless worker, and Jeff's the same way. Jeff has just done an unbelievable job. The 2 of those guys have been awesome. Really, all of our staff. I mean, I just love all these guys. They're fun to come to work with every day.
How would you describe the pressures on someone who had to replace or step in, follow a player like Deshaun Watson? And how did Kelly process all that?
Yeah, it is a lot of pressure that comes with that because, again, that's all people talk about. All people talked about all spring was Deshaun. It was like, where's he going to get drafted, and then where he got drafted, and then when people start focusing on this team, they focus on, oh my God, they lost this, they lost that, they lost this, they lost that, and then it was, you start looking at recruiting, and you're like, well, this guy, okay, it was, what position is he going to play? Because he's not going to be the quarterback, because that's just not the way it's supposed to be. This guy's going to be the quarterback. But you forget you got to earn those things.
at least you do here. And so a lot of pressure on him. And I think early on, right at the beginning of spring, I think it was kind of, his first time to be the guy and have to kind of go out there and assert himself that way. I think that was a little different for him. But finally, I just told him, I said, listen, I didn't recruit you to be Deshaun Watson. I recruited you to be Kelly Bryant. I mean, that's why we recruited you, offered you a scholarship, because we felt like you had a skill set to help us be a great quarterback here and help us have a great offense. I just need you to be who you are. Don't worry about, anything else. And I just think he's really embraced that, and that's been his focus all along. And he just kind of got better and better, and it was going to be and then just I think he just embraced the competition, because it was very competitive this spring. But he separated. I mean, he clearly was the guy that gave us the best chance this spring. If we had to go play, I mean, and that's all you can go on. You can't go on what people think or potential or whatever. What happened? That's if you're gonna maintain structure and order within a football program, that's the way it's got to be. And so then it was like, all right, well, here's where we are. But it's how's it going to play out? I don't know. We got a long way to go. And then we got into camp, again, very competitive, and he just kind of separated. And it was obvious. Hey, this kid got an opportunity to go be the guy. So now it was like, well, how's he going to do in the games? And he's answered every test, and I think he's just grown into really being a good quarterback, but just being comfortable with who he is. And he's had fun with it.
Past couple Power 5 quarterbacks who played, y'all held them to about 45% completion, and I think it's 160 yards a game. Malik Razier's struggled this past 4 games, but how does he compare to Jake Bentley and James Blackman? He's different than Blackman. He's different than Bentley too. He's a guy that they're going to run. I mean, he's a real threat running the football. He's a guy that looks to run. I mean, they're going to design runs for him. They're going to run the midline with him. They're going to boot him. They're going to get him on the edge. He creates plays off of scrambles when the pocket breaks down. He's made a lot of big plays with his legs, so that's a real challenge. Whereas Bentley is a very good player. Bentley really when he would scramble, he's looking to make big plays down the field. And not that Rozier's not, but he's just more of a threat to run for 20 yards on you. And then Blackman is not a guy that they really focused much on running. Just occasionally. But this kid is strong. He's put together. They throw a lot of competitive balls, a lot of 50-50 balls, a lot. He is very confident in his receivers. And so, again, we've got a tough challenge. I mean, he's an 11-1 quarterback for a reason. He's very dynamic and, is well coached. And I know he didn't play well against Pitt, but, I mean, that's just football. He's been a heck of a leader for him all year long. Those 50-50 balls, and as well as your corners have played the past few games, you feel like that's something that plays in your advantage?
I think it's 50-50. I think it's 50-50. I think it's hopefully it'll be 51-49 Tigers, but they're really good on the outside. Like I said, 18, 81, 82. Those big targets that they throw those competitive balls to. So we got to do a great job. But I do think that we've performed well. We've gotten better as the year has gone. Obviously, Trayvon has come on and is playing with some confidence. Ryan Carter's, I mean, he's as good a player at corner as there is. And he's a little undersized, but he plays big. So I think we've seen a lot of that. But it just comes down to this game, and it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters other than what you do in this game, and they're going to be who they are. We're going to be who we are, and it's just who can do it better.
What do you think of the receivers' blocking ability?
Physical. They're physical. They're very physical. You know, especially those big guys they got. I mean, they do a good job outside. So they're a good screen team. So we've got to do a great job on the perimeter in defeating blocks, getting off blocks, leveraging the ball, you know, turning it back to our help, because they're going to do a heck of a job in getting those screens. They throw bubble screens, you know, jailbreak screens, running back screens. I mean, they got them all. So that's a big part of what they do. They throw the sharks. In fact, they went down the field on, I think it was Georgia Tech. They went down the field on just the little bubbles right there at the end of the game and made some big plays. Just got the ball in space and, you know, kids running all over the place.
How much do you think losing a tight end like Herndon, a Mackey semifinalist, will have an effect on that offense?
Well, I mean, that's a big loss. There's no question. But you know, they've got, like I said, they got options. The Irvin kid's 248. They got Cager 6'5", 220. You know, they played him at wide out. So, you know, they're mostly an 11 personnel team. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they took, you know, either 81. He's 6'4", 220, or you know, so Langham or Cager. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they took one of them and kind of tried to feature them a little bit more in that role, especially on passing situations. Whereas when Herndon was there, he was going to be in the game. You could just count on that. Very, very dynamic player and a matchup problem. So that's a big loss for sure. But they definitely have some similar body types from a receiving standpoint that give them good options.
Obviously, Spence missed that PAT at South Carolina. Where are y'all confidence-wise with him?
Good. I mean, he's done a heck of a job for us this year. He's made 5 out of his last 6 field goals coming into this game, and then he's kicked the ball off really well, very consistent. So, you know, he's got to be ready for us.
I understand you started to film Victory Walk before the game and show it to the players on Monday. When did that tradition for you begin, and what does it mean to you?
Just something they've always done here since I came here. It was something that was being done forever, from the time for 15 years. I don't know where it started or when or why, or that was just our routine when I got here. And when I got the job, it was something I kind of tweaked a few things as far as what I wanted to do from a pregame standpoint, but that was something that I wanted to keep. And you know, we've done it, but I videoed it a couple times just because little things matter to me, and I just wanted to make sure that we taught some of our young guys, you know, how we do it.
Coach, you mentioned on Saturday that you let the team know number 1 was up for grabs in the polls. Did you, as somebody who's played in both situations of the playoff, how big is the difference between being the number 1 overall seed and being in that 2-3 game?
Just location. That's it. I mean, it don't matter if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4. I mean, you're talking about elite level of teams and talent. So it doesn't matter as far as that goes. I don't even know. What were we ranked? Were we 3? What were we ranked? What were we the first year? Oh, we were 1 that first year. Got beat. So there you go. And then last year we were what? So we were 3 and 1 at all. So it matters not. You know, it's just location. I guess if we were fortunate enough to win and we were 1, then I guess we'd get to go to the Sugar Bowl, which would probably be easier for our fans and things like that. Although the Rose Bowl would be amazing. So, you know, we're 4 quarters away from finding out, both teams.
To be fair, you didn't tell them before the game. You told them after the game.
What's that? Oh no, I told them before the game. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I told them before the game. Sure did.
To be back in this position again, how satisfying and how important is it to the program to show that we're here again and we're bigger than one player after losing a dynamic player like a Deshaun Watson?
Well, I mean, I think it's it's like I said, this has been an incredibly gratifying journey this year. Every team is different. I just embrace it every year. Every journey's different. You know, we're going to have a year somewhere where we're 8-4, and you know what? I'm going to love that too. It just sometimes that's the best you are on any given year. But this team in particular, you know, last year's team was picked to win it. They were picked to win it, and they won it. And there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot of joy that comes in doing something like that. But then you have a team like this that it's not picked to win the league or the division, and to see them kind of come together and still find a way to do it, it's very gratifying. I'm really proud of our players. I mean, it's a credit to the leadership on our team, and just their buy-in and their belief, you know, just their belief in themselves and belief in our program. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this team. So I'm just incredibly, you know, proud of them. I really am. I mean, to be in our third championship game in a row is an unbelievable accomplishment. It's been 29 years since Clemson's won 3 conference titles in a row, and there's a reason for that. It's hard to do that. It's hard to even have the opportunity to do that. So I think they did it back in the 80s, maybe 86, 87, 88, I believe. So long time. And then one other time in the 60s. It's hard to do. I mean, you know, but I'm very proud of the consistency that we've been able to have, and especially, again, one year where they pick you, another year where they don't, but you're still able to find a way to get there. I think that's it's pretty special.
Talking about taping the victory walk, what's the purpose of that, and what do you do when you videotape and show to the players?
Just kind of what we were saying earlier. Just, you know, just little things matter to me, and we have a very young football team. We got a lot of freshmen and a lot of sophomores, and I just felt like, you know, I just need to clean up a little bit, and you know, it's on me because I really hadn't focused on it, and so just a chance to kind of teach. There's a picture's worth 1,000 words, so that's really why we video everything.
Anybody got anything else?